Welcome back to another episode of the Craftavore Tastes. I'm your host, Max. And today we're digging into a beer that I'm actually kind of super excited about. The reason being is that I was actually able to pick this beer up in my travels in New York City last week. And this beer is actually a collaboration beer. It is Five Boroughs Brewing Company, Class of 2017 New York City Pale Ale. So this was a collaboration beer that was brewed by Five Boroughs Brewing Company and 9 other additional new breweries that opened up in the New York City area in 2017. So it's a collaboration with Circa, Death Avenue, Fifth Hammer, Island to Island, Killsborough, Lineup, Randolph Beer, and Wartega. So super excited. As I said, actually brewed for NYC Beer Week in 2018. And again, all of these breweries here that are listed in this collab opened up in 2017. So super cool concept. Again, as I mentioned, it's classified as a New York City Pale Ale, or they called it a New York City Pale Ale. And the reason for that is because 20% of the ingredients in this beer were actually from New York State. So I believe it was brewed with churro, an heirloom New York State wheat, and then I believe the hops were Amarillo, Citra, and I have it written down here. Hold on one second. I do not want to mess this up. So let's just check that really quickly. I know the actual hops actually came from a farm in New York State as well. So yes, all right. So Mosaic, Citra, Amarillo, hops from Peterson Farms in Seneca Castle, New York. All right, so awesome, super cool concept. I've actually already poured out the beer, so let's go ahead and just kind of go through the drill. Let's take a look at the appearance, then I'll obviously get the aroma, the taste, and then we'll rate it. All right, one last thing that I just did want to mention is, again, this is a pale ale coming in at about 6.5% alcohol by volume. So obviously the ABV is just a little bit higher than what's kind of traditionally known for a pale ale. But poured this beer out just a second ago off camera, but beer comes in a super really nice medium to medium light kind of gold color. Incredibly clean for a change, which is kind of super nice. Beer looks awesome in a glass. A little bit of the head that I obviously poured is kind of dissipated, but when I actually did pour it, you had about a finger of nice kind of like fluffy kind of white head going on. Beer looks absolutely fantastic, so let's go ahead and get ourselves an aroma. All right, super nice. All right, so right off the nose, incredibly clean, crisp pale ale going on. Getting a little bit of kind of like citrusiness kind of going on, a little bit of kind of zestiness, getting some citrus fruits, maybe a little bit of kind of orange, maybe a little bit of tangerine. Also getting a bit amount of grapefruit in there as well. Also getting one more thing. It's interesting. So I'm kind of getting like a little bit of like almost a white wine characteristic, or like a white grape, if that sounds, I realize it sounds odd. I'm back in for the smell. Like I'm getting like a little bit of like white wine kind of characteristic, or like a white grape must. I don't know. Some people obviously get white wine or kind of white grapes from Nelson Sauvin hops. I obviously know that this beer was not brewed with that. But yeah, I am kind of getting a little bit of that in the nose. I'm kind of interested to see some other folks' reviews to see if anybody kind of picked up on that, or maybe it's just me. Who knows? Anyway, smells really awesome. Let's go ahead and give her a taste. Cheers. All right. Awesome beer, man. Like really good. In the taste, kind of follows through very similarly on the nose. Extremely clean, zesty, bright, pale ale. I'm getting a lot of that kind of like citrusiness again, a little bit more kind of pronounced grapefruit notes, kind of middle of the palate as the beer's kind of going down. But again, it is incredibly zesty. It is incredibly kind of crisp. It's refreshing. I can easily see why they brewed this beer for NYC Beer Week, right? Like, obviously, there's a tremendous amount of events that are going on all across the city in NYC Beer Week, and I'm sure that this was probably poured at a bunch of them. So it makes total sense because it really honestly goes down like a, kind of drinking beer. I realize that 6.5% ABV. It's probably obviously a bit on the higher end in terms of a pale ale, but I mean, yeah, I mean, this beer kind of just, hold on, one more sip. Yeah, I mean, it screams from multiples. Really, really awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and give this one a rating. Straight up, right out of the gate, 3.75, man. Like, that's a really really nice, well done pale ale. It's super awesome that there's a large percentage of the ingredients that this beer was made using New York State ingredients. That's always super cool. So it's awesome, obviously, to support local. Yeah, 3.75 from the Craftavore Tastes, man. That's a really, really awesome beer. And really one that's obviously showcasing, what ingredients from New York State can do by obviously, a bunch of really great new breweries that have opened up here in the New York City area in 2017. All right, so that'll do it for this episode of the Craftavore Tastes. I hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and I repeat. And one last time, cheers to all these breweries that opened up in 2017. Here's hoping that I get to have a bunch of more beers, and all the best to you all. Cheers.